Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, picture this. Have you ever found yourself literally hiding in the bathroom at a crowded party, just trying to catch your breath for a second? Or maybe you've been sitting quietly in a room feeling this weird, subtle disconnect from all the buzzing energy going on around you. If that sounds familiar, This Explainer is absolutely for you. Today, we're diving into a feeling that is so incredibly common, but because of what it is, it makes us feel totally isolated. I'm talking about that quiet, nagging thought of, I feel like I don't quite fit in. We're going to break down the psychology behind why being quiet is definitely not a flaw. Actually, scratch that. It's a distinct, powerful way of interacting with the world.
So, you know that moment when you look around at your peers and you just wonder, is everyone else figuring this out except me? You see friends or classmates who seem to literally run on social energy. They love going out every single weekend, they stay up super late, they effortlessly talk to strangers, and they absolutely thrive in huge crowds. And meanwhile, you might be sitting there thinking about how incredibly nice it would be to just teleport back to your room, put on your favorite show, read a good book, and just soak in some quiet time. When we see that massive contrast, it is so easy to internalize it as a personal failure, right? Like there's some kind of social instruction manual that everyone got except us.
Which brings us to Section 1. Am I missing out?
Let me give you the short answer to is something wrong with me? Absolutely not. No way. Being quiet is not a flaw. Introversion is just a personality style. It is not some problem that you need to solve or cure or fix. It's just a way of being. For the longest time, society has kind of framed this loud, outgoing, highly social behavior as the absolute default for success and happiness. But once we understand introversion as just a structural personality trait, we can finally stop pathologizing our completely normal need for quiet.
Look at it this way. It really all comes down to energy management. Think of it like a smartphone battery. Some people naturally recharge their internal batteries by being around others, like the crowd literally plugs them in and gives them energy. But on the flip side, it is an equally valid reality that other people recharge by unclugging and spending time alone. Both of these are completely 100% normal. If your battery drains in a massive crowd, going home to recharge isn't you missing out on anything. It is literally just you taking care of your fundamental needs.
Moving right along to Section 2, Rethinking, Confidence, and Anxiety.
I absolutely love this quote because it totally shatters a massive myth. So many of us, especially as students or young professionals, walk around believing that true confidence means you never, ever feel nervous. That is simply not true. Confidence is taking action in the face of anxiety. It's raising your hand, or speaking up in a meeting, or showing up to that networking event, all while your heart might be beating a mile a minute. You do not have to wait for the anxiety to magically disappear before you get to call yourself a confident person.
And you know, this leads right into another absolutely crucial life skill: asking for help. A lot of quiet or introverted people really hesitate to reach out because they think it's going to make them look incapable, or weak, or like they don't know what they're doing. But in reality, asking for help is a sign of profound maturity. It means you figured out that everyone, and I mean literally everyone, needs support sometimes. When you're willing to actually use the resources around you, whether that's raising a hand, sending a quick email, or stopping by to talk to a lecturer, you are actively building your confidence. And the best part? It becomes just a little bit easier the very next time you do it.
But, of course, even when we know all of this logically, we still fall right back into the comparison trap, asking ourselves, why am I not like them? We look at our more outgoing classmates or coworkers and we wonder why we can't just effortlessly work a room the way they seem to. Guys, this is such a harmful, anxiety-inducing trap. Measuring your behind-the-scenes reality against someone else's carefully curated highlight reel will literally only ever leave you feeling inadequate.
So, to break out of that trap, we need a massive cognitive shift. We need a new metric, and that metric is personal optimization. Instead of asking why you aren't like someone else, you need to start asking yourself, what kind of environment helps me thrive? Because there is no single right way to be a university student, or a professional, or just a human being. By shifting the question, you finally stop fighting your own nature and you start designing a life that actually supports your unique strengths.
And here is the really crucial point to remember. University, and frankly, life in general, is not a popularity contest. You do not need to be best friends with everyone you meet. If you're someone who thrives in smaller, quieter environments, hey, it might just take a little more time to find people whose interests and vibes align with yours. You do not need a massive social circle to be happy or successful. You really only need a few genuine, deep, ride-or-die connections.
Let's jump into Section 3, Measuring Your Real Growth.
Have you ever noticed that you perform way below your actual potential when you're stressed or worried? It's so frustrating, right? Anxiety has this terrible habit of making highly capable people completely doubt themselves. It can directly mess with your concentration, your memory, your decision-making, and that's because when you're anxious, your brain is burning a massive amount of cognitive energy just trying to manage uncertainty. I really want you to absorb this. This does not mean you are less intelligent. It simply means your brain is basically working in overdrive. But the really encouraging news here is that managing this uncertainty is just a skill. And like literally all skills, it improves with practice, proper support, and experience.
Because real growth, it isn't just about the final grade or landing that big promotion. We have to celebrate the micro wins. You have to notice these smaller victories. Maybe you pushed past the nerves and just introduced yourself to someone new. Maybe you raised your hand and asked one question in class. Or maybe you just hit send on that super intimidating email to a lecturer for clarification. Perhaps you finally took the leap and joined a study group. But most importantly, you kept going, even when you felt nervous. Every single one of these moments is pure, undeniable evidence that you are becoming more resilient. Stack these victories up, because they absolutely matter.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, the power of quiet.
Okay, so leadership absolutely does not require you to be the loudest person in the room. Just take a look at this breakdown of how leadership actually plays out in practice. It's a fascinating contrast. While some people rely on, dominating the conversation or becoming the loudest voice, quiet strengths are built on listening really carefully to others and thinking deeply about complex issues. Instead of relying purely on outgoing charisma, quiet leaders prepare incredibly well and they act with distinct purpose. I mean, keep in mind that many of the world's most outstanding scientists, engineers, researchers, doctors, and leaders are naturally quiet people. They don't succeed in spite of their quietness, they succeed for sure because of it.
And that brings us to the core takeaway of this entire explainer. If you are quiet, if you're thoughtful, and if you're sometimes a little nervous, that is perfectly okay. You do not need a personality transplant. You don't need to fundamentally change who you are or become someone else. You simply need to become a more confident version of yourself. True growth is not about forcing yourself into some extroverted mold that just doesn't fit. It's about learning to deeply, truly trust the person you already are.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought to carry with you as you go about your week. Take a look at your own life, your own habits, your own unique way of navigating the world. What quiet strengths are you ready to start trusting today? Embrace your authentic disposition, because I promise you, the world desperately needs the listeners, the deep thinkers, and the quiet innovators. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this helps you realize just how perfectly you actually fit in, exactly as you are.